A generous donor has agreed to match up to $20,000. So far, we've raised about $5,000. So we're looking for another $15,000 to come alongside our Eurasia partners in Poland, Moldova, and Romania to help provide aid and support for the refugees and for any people within our network in Ukraine that are trying to flee.
And Reach Villages are trying to help. We are working with, we have been planting churches for many years. We have a network of pastors and churches, and we are looking at the churches that are close by to a place that is accessible for us.
Today, we have a special update on the Ukraine war. We have a special guest, Waldemar. So Waldemar, why don't you tell us a little bit about who you are and the region?
Yeah, my name is Waldemar Kurz. I was born in Kazakhstan when it was still the Soviet Union. When I was 16 years old, my parents moved to Germany. In 1984, I moved to the United States. And for the last 30 years, I have been involved in the ministry in Ukraine. I was responsible for the ministry in Ukraine and the former Soviet Union, including the Eastern European countries.
So can you tell us a little bit about how your friends, your long-term colleagues, how are they doing?
Well, let me tell you a few words about the Ukrainian people. The Ukrainian people are the most loving people, peace-loving people, freedom-loving people, warm people, and they're just fun to be around with. Just about 10 minutes before we started recording, I received a text message from our partner in Kiev, Ukraine.
Mm-hmm.
He told me that there was an explosion near the house of his son, and the windows broke, and he's not able to get close there because of the shooting. The situation is very difficult. Ukraine, I said, is a loving, peace-loving people. But unfortunately, they were attacked, brutally attacked by Putin. People are fleeing.
So here at Reach a Village, we're raising awareness. We're also raising funds for a special humanitarian plea to help with this crisis. Can you tell me a little bit about some of the other countries that are willing to help out in whatever ways they can?
Well, the bombing and the heavy shooting and with heavy artillery created a ton of refugees, 500,000 refugees in the last few days.
Wow.
And so the people that are fleeing, to leave everything behind, because there is only so much space on the trains, on the buses, in the cars, and so it's really difficult. A lot of people cross the border by foot, and they walk for miles, and then when they arrive at the border, there's a queue of a few kilometers still. And it takes them days, like 3-4 days to get across the border. And who is there? Who are the refugees? The elderly, the children and wives. Men between 18 and 60 are not allowed to leave the country. They have to stay behind defending the country. And so it is really tragic. And Reach Villages are trying to help with the refugees. We are working with, we have been planting churches for many years. We have a network of pastors and churches. And we are looking at the churches that are close by to a place that is accessible for us. Like in Romania, there is a place close to the Ukrainian border, and from there we can take help and produce or groceries for the people, or even just water to drink. This is already, a help for them, because they have been in line for a long time, and they didn't take food for 3 days with them. And imagine a family, lady, young mothers with 2, 3, 4, 5 kids. I think they have changed the rule that if they have more than 4 kids, they allow the man, the husband, to go with the wife,
Right.
which is a great blessing. Imagine the sorrow of saying goodbye when you don't know if you will ever see them again, and so there's a lot of pain. Reach Village is trying to work through Romania into Ukraine, through Poland into Ukraine, and also through Moldova, which also borders with Ukraine. So from those 3 countries, we can offer a lot of help, more than we probably will be able to raise, because the need is so great. When they leave without anything, when they have to take what they can carry, many of them have carry-ons on wheels, and so they drag them through the mud. And remember, it's February, it's snowing, it's cold, and they spend 2-3 days outside at the border waiting for their turn.
A generous donor has agreed to match up to $20,000. So far, we've raised about $5,000. So we're looking for another $15,000 to come alongside our Eurasia partners in Poland, Moldova, and Romania to help provide aid and support for the refugees and for any people within our network in Ukraine that are trying to flee.
So you see, the need is so huge. A small amount of $5,000-$10,000 doesn't even last long. But we are trying to help the people as much as we can, and we will try to bring some food and needed, like bandages, medicine. I mean, those things are urgently needed in Ukraine, within Ukraine.
Right.
We're exploring options.
Yeah, absolutely. It's very fluid right now.
Well, the shelves are, even if we could bring cash into the country, what would they do with it? I mean, the shelves are empty and they cannot buy much because the supplies are blocked. The bridges are blown up, so the travel and communication is difficult. And so we have to bring stuff in for Ukraine. Well, the partners that we're working with are not newly discovered, found partners because of the crisis here. The partners that we're working with are reliable, trustworthy people. I'm sorry, I'm getting emotional. Just about 20 minutes ago, my wife was talking to the director of Little Lamps in Ukraine, and he says he's going to Kharkiv tomorrow to pick up families.
Oh.
Again, leaving his family behind and going to help others. So These are the people that are selfless and sacrificial. And it's a pleasure to work with them.
So I do want to encourage you to give to this humanitarian assistance fund under our Give Now designation. You can just click and scroll down and find the Ukraine humanitarian assistance tab and give towards this relief effort. March 1st marks the beginning of our prayer calendar for Reach a Village. I want to encourage you to pray along this month with each of those prayer requests. And if you could, each day also remember Ukraine in your prayers. So thank you, Waldemar, for sharing, and more updates will come as we hear more from the fields, and you can find that here on either Facebook or YouTube or on our webpage. So thank you, Waldemar.
Thank you.